What if the biggest mistake in tech history wasn't hiring too many developers, but firing them? For years, executives were promised a future in which artificial intelligence would write code faster, more cheaply, and better than humans. Investors loved the idea. CEOs loved the idea. Headlines declared that software engineering was about to become mostly automated. Then reality arrived. Projects started shipping faster, but breaking faster too. Security vulnerabilities multiplied. Technical debt exploded. AI-generated code flooded repositories faster than teams could review it. Companies discovered that replacing experienced developers with AI wasn't eliminating costs. It was simply moving them to places nobody was measuring. And according to various industry estimates, productivity losses, security incidents, failed AI projects, and technical debt tied to rushed AI adoption are already creating costs that can be measured in the tens of billions of dollars. The promise was efficiency. The result is becoming a nightmare, the dream that everyone bought. The pitch seemed irresistible. Why pay a team of senior engineers when an AI assistant can generate thousands of lines of code in seconds? Why spend months building software when AI can create a prototype over a weekend? Why maintain large engineering teams when automation appears to be doing most of the work? In boardrooms around the world, spreadsheets started telling a very attractive story. Reduce payroll, increase output, boost profits, raise stock prices. What could go wrong? The problem is that software development was never just about writing code. Writing code is often the easiest part. The productivity illusion. At first, everything looked amazing. Developers using AI tools reported massive gains in speed. Tasks that once took hours could be completed in minutes. Management saw dashboards showing more commits, more features, and more releases. Success. Or so it seemed. Then researchers and engineering leaders began noticing something strange. Teams were producing more code than ever before, but they weren't necessarily producing better software. In many cases, AI-generated code increased the volume of output, while simultaneously increasing the hidden complexity within systems. The technical debt explosion. Imagine getting a credit card with no spending limit. At first, it feels incredible. You can buy anything, move faster, get immediate results. Then the bill arrives. AI-generated code is creating a similar phenomenon inside many organizations. Developers can now generate entire features almost instantly. The temptation is obvious. Ship faster, generate more, keep moving. But every shortcut becomes tomorrow's maintenance burden. Many engineering teams are discovering repositories filled with code that technically works, but lacks clear structure, documentation, consistency, or long-term maintainability. The security problem nobody wanted to talk about. Here's where things become genuinely scary. AI models are trained on enormous quantities of public code. That includes excellent code. It also includes terrible code, outdated code, insecure code, vulnerable code. When developers blindly accept AI-generated suggestions, vulnerabilities can slip into production systems. Security researchers have repeatedly demonstrated that AI coding assistants sometimes generate insecure implementations, weak authentication systems, flawed encryption practices, and vulnerable database queries. An experienced engineer might immediately recognize these issues. An overwhelmed team trying to move faster may not. The knowledge drain. One of the most overlooked consequences of replacing developers with AI is the loss of institutional knowledge. Every experienced engineer carries something impossible to quantify on a spreadsheet: context. They know why systems were designed a certain way. They remember past failures. They understand hidden dependencies. They recognize patterns before problems occur. When companies aggressively reduce engineering teams, that knowledge often leaves with them. The $61 billion question. So where does the $61 billion nightmare come from? Not from one single event, not from one catastrophic failure. It's the combined cost of countless smaller problems spreading across the industry. Failed AI initiatives, technical debt accumulation, security incidents, productivity reversals, rework, compliance failures, infrastructure inefficiencies, operational disruptions. Analysts and industry researchers continue estimating massive economic impacts associated with poorly implemented AI strategies. Why the smart companies aren't replacing developers? Interestingly, some of the most successful technology companies are taking a very different approach. They're not replacing developers, they're augmenting them. The best performing teams use AI as a force multiplier. Developers handle architecture. AI handles repetitive tasks. Developers make strategic decisions. AI accelerates implementation. Developers review and validate outputs. AI increases productivity. This model creates genuine efficiency without sacrificing quality. The new reality of software development. The future probably doesn't belong to companies with the most AI. It belongs to companies that understand how to use AI effectively. That means recognizing both its strengths and limitations. AI excels at generating boilerplate code, automating repetitive tasks, assisting with documentation, accelerating prototyping, supporting debugging workflows. Organizations that understand this are already pulling ahead. Organizations that don't may spend years dealing with the consequences. The irony nobody expected. The greatest irony of the AI coding revolution is that it may actually increase the value of experienced developers. When code becomes easier to generate, understanding that code becomes more important. When software can be created instantly, maintaining software becomes the real challenge. When everyone can build applications faster, reliability becomes the competitive advantage. In other words, the bottleneck shifts. The measurement problem behind the AI hype. One reason so many companies rushed to replace developers with AI is surprisingly simple. They measured the wrong things. Most organizations can easily track lines of code, generated tickets, completed development speed, deployment frequency, short-term labor costs. These numbers look impressive on executive dashboards. AI often improves all of them. The problem is that software quality is much harder to measure. How do you quantify maintainability, architectural clarity, future debugging difficulty, institutional knowledge, resilience under unexpected conditions? These factors rarely appear in quarterly reports, yet they often determine whether a software system succeeds or fails over the long term. An AI-generated shortcut may save a week of development time, but cost months of maintenance later. This delay creates what economists call a feedback problem. The people celebrating the gains are often not the same people dealing with the consequences. By the time the real costs emerge, the original decision may already be considered a success. That's why some of the most expensive mistakes in technology history looked brilliant in the beginning. They optimized for what was easy to measure while ignoring what was difficult to see. And software engineering has always contained a simple truth. The cost of building software is usually visible. The cost of maintaining software is often hidden. AI dramatically reduces the first cost. But if used carelessly, it can dramatically increase the second. The companies that thrive in the AI era will not be the ones generating the most code. They will be the ones generating the most sustainable systems. Final thoughts. Artificial intelligence is transforming software development faster than almost anyone predicted. But the companies treating AI as a replacement for developers are learning an expensive lesson. Writing code was never the hardest part of software engineering. Understanding consequences is. The rush to cut costs, reduce teams, and automate everything may look brilliant in quarterly reports. Yet beneath the surface, many organizations are accumulating technical debt, security risks, and operational fragility that could take years to unwind. The nightmare isn't that AI became powerful. The nightmare is that people assumed powerful tools eliminate the need for expertise. History suggests the opposite. The more powerful the technology becomes, the more important human judgment becomes alongside it. And that may be the most expensive lesson the tech industry has learned in decades. The rush to replace developers with AI may go down as one of the most expensive misunderstandings in modern technology. Not because AI failed, but because people misunderstood what software engineering actually is. The future won't belong to AI alone or humans alone. It will belong to those who understand how both work together. This is the hidden side of technology and the future. the consequences nobody talks about until the bill arrives. If you enjoyed this deep dive, like the video, subscribe to the channel and drop a comment below. Will AI replace developers, or will it make great developers even more valuable? Your thoughts might be featured in the next episode.
The system isn't as simple as it seems, and this is only one piece of the puzzle. Let's uncover the next one.